And when the darkness seems so strong and you just can't go on, pray for your helping hand. You'll see the sun will rise again. You'll find the strength to carry on up to heaven where you belong. 'Cause life is but a journey for us all.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the 4th episode of our exciting new series, Building a Better Future. I'm still your host, Malik. You can't get rid of me. And I'm still here with our beloved Sheikh, Karim Abu Zaid. You can check him out online at karimabuzaid.com, all lowercase. Or if you want to watch some of his videos, check him out on YouTube at IslamWay71. That's his own channel. You can check out all his work there. Okay, last episode we were talking about many things. But before we get started, we want you guys to open up your Musafs. If you have a Quran at home, open it up to chapter Nur. Read from verse 46 to 57. While you're reading that, let me recap what we did. The last couple of episodes we've been talking about empowerment. Allah promised to empower some people on the earth. Did He promise to empower hypocrites? No. Non-believers? No. He promised to empower the believers. Of course, there are some conditions to that. And before we get into the conditions of that, we also talked about in the second episode the fruits of that empowerment. Are the Muslims, do the Muslims want to gain empowerment just to enjoy wealth and worldly things? No. We want to gain empowerment in order to benefit all humanity, to benefit the animals, the environment. Everyone will benefit. So we talked a little bit about this. Then now, inshallah, Sheikh Karim, we're going to get into the conditions of fulfilling this promise from Allah. And we were talking about the first condition was obeying Allah, and I believe you're talking about the battle of Uhud.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله. Brother Malik, Jazakallahu khaira. You cannot imagine how important that subject is for a lot of Muslims, because a believer never despairs.
Never despair.
Because he believes everything is in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can turn the condition of the ummah around.
Just like that.
All what you have to do is just do your part. And this is what the show is about. Building a better future. Knowing your responsibility and my responsibility. And do that part and don't worry about the rest. In the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like you said, we're talking about empowerment on earth, not to enjoy the dunya, not to enjoy the wealth. No. Again, I stress what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran. الَّذِينَ إِن مَّكَّنَّاهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ أَقَامُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتَوُا الزَّكَاةَ وَأَمَرُوا بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَنَهَوْا عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ. Those whom, if we grant them empowerment in earth, succession in earth, they will pray, they will pay the zakah, they will enjoin good, they will forbid evil. A Muslim is not seeking empowerment for the wealth, rather to share that wealth, even with non-Muslims, if they need it, and so forth. So this is the, and if you recall, we shared with the viewers the story of Dhul Qarnayn.
Yes, it's a beautiful story, Sheikh.
Someone whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala empowered in earth, a righteous person. And what did he use his empowerment for? Helping nations in the east and nations in the west. Some of them were not Muslims, were disbelievers, were not. And some of them were not smart. And he helped them against the two corrupting tribes, Gog and Magog. We talked about Sayyidina Sulaiman alayhi salam. He employed all the resources of his kingdom in order to bring a nation in Yemen, Sheba, to Islam. Upon receiving a report from one of his soldiers, a bird called the Hudhud. He came to him and he said, I found them prostrating to the sun. Shouldn't they be prostrating themselves to Allah, the creator of the heavens and the earth, and the one who brings forth the vegetation out of earth? Look, a bird. Sayyidina Sulaiman immediately acted upon this report. He sent a message to them, warning them, and then at the end of the day, the woman came with her people submitting in submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is what we're talking about here. This is why. Now, and I'm glad you reminded the viewers, because all this show, we're going to use Quran and Sunnah.
That's it.
Just to let them know that this stuff is not a made-up stuff. We're not making this show. We're going to bring it out from the Quran, from the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, to let you know that it is doable. Okay, you told them to bring their mushaf, and I hope they did. And they need to read these verses. Surah number 25 again, Surah An-Nur, from verse 46 until 57. That verse where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised succession to the believers, promised them that they will practice their religion freely without any restrictions. He promised them security and safety in place of anxiety and fear, but provided they fulfill their part. What is their part? وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنكُمْ وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, that you believe and do righteous deeds.
These two together.
Those two together. And the practical implementation of this is that you say, I hear and I obey.
Not just I hear.
No. You see, that's what they did.
Right.
The nation before us, Bani Israel, they said, we hear, and inside them they said, we disobey. سَمِعْنَا وَعَصَيْنَا. No, Muslims, they must say what? We hear and obey. And if you recall in the previous episode, I told the viewers, and I told you, that I want you to count how many times the word obedience were mentioned in these verses.
And I remember, Sheikh, and I hope the viewers do too. It was...
You know what? Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Here's the first verse.
Excellent.
وَيَقُولُونَ آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ وَبِالرَّسُولِ وَأَطَعْنَا. This is number one. They claim that they believe in Allah and in the Messenger, and they obey Allah and the Messenger. This is number one. إِذَا فَرِيقٌ مِّنْهُمْ مُعْرِضُونَ ويقولون آمنا بالله وبالرسول وأطعنا ثم يتولون من بعد ذلك وما أولئك بالمؤمنين وإذا دعوا إلى الله ورسوله يحكم بينهم إذا فريق منهم معرضون وإن يكن لهم الحق يأتوا إليه مذعنين أفي قلوبهم مرض أم ارتابوا أم يخافون أن يحيف الله عليهم ورسوله بل أولئك هم الظالمون. Number two. إنما كان قول المؤمنين. We're looking for the word obedience with its variation, a verb, noun. Indeed, the attitude of the believers, if they are called to Allah and His Messenger, by Allah and His Messenger to do something, أن يقولوا سمعنا وأطعنا. This is number two. وأولئك هم المفلحون. Number three. ومن يطع الله ورسوله ويخشى الله ويتقي فأولئك هم الفائزون. Those three times. Then comes in وأقسموا بالله جهد أيمانهم لئن أمرتهم ليخرجن قل لا تقسموا. طاعة. Number four, طاعة معروفة. قل أطيعوا الله. Number five, وأطيعوا الرسول. Number six, فإن تولوا فإنما عليه ما حمل وعليكم ما حملتم وإن تطيعوه تهتدوا. Number seven, وما على الرسول إلا البلاغ المبين. Then the verse which is the subject وعد الله الذين آمنوا, and then comes in number 8, وأقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة وأطيعوا الله ورسوله. And I'm doing this for the viewers to go back to these verses and find out how many times the word obedience was mentioned. Why? Why obedience, Malik? Why obedience? Because obedience is the practical implementation of the belief.
Okay. Has to be applied.
You have to apply it.
You can't just listen.
What help do you get if you know that you have to pray 5 times and yet you're not praying 5 times?
And this is the condition of many people as well, yeah.
What help do we get if you know that usury is haram and you're still dealing in
Buy
usury?
a house, yeah. No help.
All what is it? We سمعنا, I hear, and at the same time in your heart you said what? I disobey. I'm not interested.
It's partial. It's not true obedience.
I know you want me to go back to the Battle of Uhud, and I will do.
Okay, inshallah, before, yeah.
But I just wanted the viewers also to realize that it's not about battles and it's not about fighting. Oh, no. Actually, the main battle where you're supposed to practice this is your livelihood.
Your daily life.
Daily life.
With your wife, your children, your co-workers.
Yes,
This is a true striving struggle.
في صحيح الإمام مسلم حديث أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه, that when the verses at the end of Surah Al-Baqarah, very precious verses in the Quran, were revealed. And I know they are telling us 2 minutes.
We have time.
But inshallah, maybe I will
continue in the next
segment. In the next segment. Here it is. When these verses were revealed, here is the beginning of it. لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. To Allah belongs what's in the earth and what's in the heavens. Here. وإن تبدوا ما في أنفسكم أو تخفوه يحاسبكم به الله. And whether you conceal what's in your chest or reveal it, you're going to be held accountable for it. Now, inside you, Malik, if you think about hitting me, I know you're not thinking about that.
You're a big man, Sheikh. I wouldn't think about it. But yeah, I see your point. Allah knows this.
Yeah, but even that thought, Allah is going to punish you for it.
You're going to hold me accountable for that.
For the thought. The
Much less
companions came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. قالوا يا رسول الله. They said, O Messenger of Allah, we were commanded to pray. We said, سمعنا وأطعنا.
Right.
We were commanded to fast. We said, سمعنا وأطعنا. We were commanded to give sadaqah, zakah. سمعنا وأطعنا. We hear and we obey. We were commanded. But this one,
didn't listen.
We cannot afford.
And we're going to continue with this thought, inshallah, in the next segment. Stay tuned for more from Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid. Assalamu alaikum.
Heaven where I belong.
Welcome to Tech Talk. I'm your host, Omar Shear. This season of Tech Talk, we will focus specifically on the internet.
A student would type their paper, and instead of handing me a hard copy of their paper, they would upload it to this learning system, this e-learning system.
I have some great experience when it comes to technology, and in particular, internet technology. Call to action is something that we do in our day-to-day lives, and maybe we don't realize it. Now we want to discuss, after you have a product and you have a website and you have a way to communicate with your customers, which would be your email marketing system, now it's time to take the money from the customer.
Up to heaven, heaven where I belong.
Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers, and welcome back to our new and exciting series, Building a Better Future. I'm still here. I'm your host, Malik, and I'm still here with Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid. Don't forget to check him out online at karimabuzaid.com. Sheikh, we were talking about in the last episode a couple of interesting things about the conditions of empowerment and obedience. And you had bring some hadith. And first of all, let me remind the viewers, you better have your mushafs open to chapter Surah An-Nur, verses 46 through 57. Sheikh, we're talking about obedience and how the companions, when they heard something, they obeyed. Can you continue on?
I was basically trying to tell the viewers that the law that must be activated now for us to receive the promise of Allah, to be empowered on earth, is the law we hear and we obey.
We hear and we obey.
Period.
Full stop.
And this is what is mentioned. If they look at the verses that you refer to, إِنَّمَا كَانَ قَوْلَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ إِذَا دُعُوا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ لِيَحْكُمَ بَيْنَهُمْ أَن يَقُولُوا سَمِعْنَا وَأَطَعْنَا. The attitude of the believers when they are called to do something by Allah, or Allah ruled something, decreed something for them to do, that they say, we hear and we obey.
True believers.
So I was sharing with you an incident that happened at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I'd love the viewers to get the essence of that incident. Imam Muslim compiled this, Hadith Abi Hurairah radiyallahu anhu, when the last verses of Surah Al-Baqarah.
Yes.
And again, I want the viewers to get engaged with us. Go open Ibn Kathir and read what Ibn Kathir compiled regarding these verses. Basically, these verses begins with لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وإن تبدوا ما في أنفسكم أو تخفوه يحاسبكم به الله. To Allah belongs what's in the heavens, what's in the earth, and whether you conceal or reveal what's in your chest, you're held accountable.
Either way.
The companions came to the Prophet ﷺ, Ya Rasulullah, this one we cannot afford.
Too difficult.
Too difficult. That if you think about something bad, you're held accountable. It's written. You know what the Prophet ﷺ said to them?
No.
أتريدون, would you like to say like the children of Israel said, سمعنا وعصينا, we hear and we disobey? I want you to say, we hear and we obey.
Subhanallah.
By the way, Abu Hurairah said that the companions came in their knees. Ya Rasul, we cannot do this one, please.
It's too difficult for
Too
us.
difficult for us. Yet the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told them what?
You have to do it.
You have to do it.
It doesn't matter.
No choice.
Because this is the command of Allah.
Just say, سمعنا وأطعنا. And because, look at that generation.
Right.
Because once we talk about this generation, Malik got empowered on earth in 10 years.
10 years.
10 years time.
14, yeah, right.
10 years in Medina, when the state was established, when they migrated to Medina. Within 10 years, they started going to Persia, going to the Roman Empire, all over the world.
Malaysia.
10 years. Why? Because they activated that law. They activated that law. Immediately, look at this. They said, سَمِعْنَا وَأَطَعْنَا. As soon as the Prophet ﷺ told them that you have no choice but to say سَمِعْنَا وَأَطَعْنَا, they said سَمِعْنَا وَأَطَعْنَا. Immediately, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the relief. Which is the next verse. لَا يُكَلِّفُ اللَّهُ نَفْسًا إِلَّا وُسْعَهَا. The next verse. Immediately, because they say لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وإن تبدوا ما في أنفسكم أو تخفوه يحاسبكم بالله فيغفر لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء والله على كل شيء قدير. Here it is. آمن الرسول. This is the next verse. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون. The Prophet ﷺ, the Messenger ﷺ, and the believers, they believed in what was revealed to them. And the believers, اللي هم الصحابة, كل آمن بالله, they believed in Allah, the angels, ملائكته, كتبه, the books, ورسله, and the messengers. وقال لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله, we do not place any distinction amongst any of the messengers. وقالوا, and they said what? سمعنا وأطعنا. As soon as they said سمعنا وأطعنا, as soon as they activated the law of we hear and we obey, came in the verse لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت.
The relief.
Relief means what? خلاص. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is only gonna hold you accountable for things that you do or things that you say. But anything inside the chest, خلاص.
He gives you relief.
That's the relief.
Yeah.
But when did they receive the relief?
After they obeyed.
Yes.
Not before.
Yes.
With conditions. This is the point. Yeah. This is our point.
You see, just travel through time and come to the condition of the ummah now. You go to a Muslim, you tell him, okay, brother, you have to do this. You know the first thing that a Muslim now thinks about? How can we find a fatwa that can take me out of this?
Like shopping for sneakers.
Yes.
We go to different stores.
Yes.
So now we go for different sheikhs to find the fatwa we like.
Yeah, let me call the sheikh.
Yeah.
Let me call the sheikh.
I'll bring another one. I don't like what he said.
Let me bring this one. Let me bring this one. Let me bring this one. And so this is the attitude,
Yeah.
because he does not want to obey the command.
Yeah.
But if he or she inside them have the intention that the companions had, that I want to submit to Allah. Huh?
Right.
You find the ummah now, we in America, for example, somebody comes in and he says, okay, you can go buy houses with mortgage.
This is a big problem.
What do you mean by how? Mortgage is riba.
Yeah.
What do you mean mortgage? Mortgage is riba. You're paying riba.
Right.
Hadith في صحيح Muslim, Hadith Jabir ibn Abdullah رضي الله عنهما. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم cursed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala curses. The Prophet says, لعن الله آكل الربا وموكله Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala curses the person who receives the riba, the recipient,
Right.
and the one who pays it,
And the witness.
and the writer of the
Subhanallah.
contract, and the
Subhanallah.
two witnesses.
Subhanallah.
وَكَاتِبَ وَشَاهِدَيْهِ.
SubhanAllah.
Now, how can you come and say, they say, well, we have to, this sheikh, you come now and say, well, this sheikh came to America and he said it's okay. What do you mean it's okay?
Yeah.
Who are you following here, the sheikh or you're
you
following
follow
Allah
Allah
and His
subhanahu wa
messenger? And this is the problem with the ummah right now, Malik. This is the problem with this ummah. And there is one of the predecessors, his name is Sulaiman al-Taymi. You know what he said?
What did he say?
من تتبع رخص العلماء فقد اجتمع فيه الشر كله. Any Muslim who goes after a fatwa of the sheikh, رخصة here is not the opposite of al-azima. لا. رخصة here is what? A mistake. Every sheikh has a mistake.
Of course.
I have my own.
We all have mistakes.
Everybody. I mean, everybody has shortcomings because after all, we can,
We're not perfect.
we have shortcomings.
Of course.
But the one al-ma'soom that never
Has a mistake.
never has any mistakes, and if he does, Allah corrects him immediately with the revelation. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. If he you're not. Sulaiman al-Taymi says that anybody who goes after the fatwa of the sheikh, Muslims right now say, okay, riba is okay. I could do because this sheikh said it's okay. Okay, selling drugs, now we have this.
Alcohol.
No, this is another problem now in America. We have this medical.
Marijuana, of course, it's huge.
Medical stuff.
Yeah.
Now Muslims call me and they want to trade in it. I said, Ya akhi, it's haram.
Oh my God.
Well, this sheikh said it's okay.
What do you think?
Okay. Then another person says al-khamr, alcohol, it's okay.
Which is rampant in America. By Muslims.
Which is Muslims are having liquor stores.
70% of liquor stores, I think.
Amazing. I mean, how can you do this?
Yeah.
You
Terrible. No obedience.
You see, this is the condition to be empowered.
And now we're not meeting that.
Now the problem, here is the mentality of a lot of Muslims. They think, you see, shaitan comes to them in order to convince them this is okay. You're actually helping the ummah. You're helping the ummah. Huh? They think that they have to disobey Allah in order to help the deen of Allah. لا يا حبيب, لا يا أخي, لا. Look what Allah said in the Quran, Ya Malik. إن تنصروا الله ينصركم. If you give victory to Allah. Now, does Allah need victory from people? No.
Of course not.
You know how you understand this? If you give victory to the deen, to the religion of Allah.
Meaning be obedient to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody comes to you and says, take a loan. Haram. أنا Muslim.
I can't
حرم الله وأحل الله
I feel
البيع
Allah.
وحرم الربا. When you speak like this, you know when I go to the bank sometimes, I mean, I live in the West.
Right.
Okay, I live in America.
Right.
Okay, when I go to the bank and then I have to open a bank account these days in order to pay your bills.
Yeah,
and
what are
all
you going
this.
to do? Yeah.
Okay, and then I tell the lady in the bank or the man in the bank, okay, can you please remove my interest?
They get surprised. They can't understand it.
Interest?
What are you doing, Sheikh? Why?
What is that? I said, I use this as da'wah.
Perfect opportunity.
Perfect opportunity.
Because you're turning down money.
You know, I'm a Muslim, and this is against my deen, against my religion, and another Muslim right now said, this is not smart, Sheikh. You should take the interest
and give it to charity.
and give it to charity. You're getting it wrong, Ya Rajil.
But that was not from our Quran.
No. What do you mean? إن الله طيب لا يقبل إلا الطيب. Allah is pure. You think Allah wants those $10 interest that he got from the bank?
Or the liquor money from the store?
يا أيها الذين آمنوا, O you who believe, أنفقوا من طيبات ما كسبتم. Spend from the pure. The pure of your earnings, not the haram of your earnings. You think Allah needs? It's like somebody who goes and he steals, like ideally a woman who goes to belly dance, and then at the end of the day she gives the fees for sadaqah.
As if people were in need of the haram money.
No, sister, please stay at home, and guard your chastity, and jazakallahu khairan, we do not need your sadaqah.
Right, of course.
So that's the attitude. That's what I think we have to talk about this another episode. Because the condition for empowerment is so important. Because that's what we're missing.
Right.
You see, wa'ad Allah promised. Okay. Allah never breaks His promise.
Never.
If we are not empowered yet, that means there is something wrong with us.
That's a big problem.
Yes.
SubhanAllah. So the condition of the ummah is very low because we're not we're not having any kind of obedience. We, like you said, Sheikh, we're looking for different excuses and fatwas. And like you said, when you speak to a Muslim, especially in the Western countries, including myself, all of us, we're looking for excuses. And inshallah, we'll cover more topics in the next episode. And to give the ummah, how are we going to build a better future and give them some hope and encouragement, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Okay, excellent. Stay tuned for more with Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid. Assalamu alaikum.
And when the darkness seems so strong and you just can't go on, pray for your helping hand. You'll see the sun will rise again. You'll find the strength to carry on up to heaven where you belong. 'Cause life is but a journey for us all. We cry, we laugh, we run, sometimes we fall. But through it all, always recall, God never gives a burden too tall.